Hello guys,
Somebody.
welcome to our channel. We have a guest of honor today. Lift him up.
Dun, 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 dun. Azzy.
Yeah, we have Azzy today because he's way too busy and we cannot keep him what chained
Entertain.
and entertained.
Entertain.
So
This is his form of entertainment.
yeah, so
Right.
you see he's looking around everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, thank you for your comments on the previous video. I don't think I've responded yet.
No, I don't think so as well.
I've seen them. I have. Thank you so much. I will respond. My baby was not feeling well this week, so I will. Today we're talking about. So you know that this is a 4-week series where we're talking about depression and Christianity or mental health and Christianity. So today, the host who hasn't said anything.
I was told last week to have a conversation. So
Okay.
you are the one who is introducing the topic. So
Okay,
let us know.
today we're talking about. I hope my leggings are not showing.
I hope so too. I hope
So
they're not
I
also. They're okay. Kitty pajama, but anyways.
What?
No, that's fine. This is really unedited and uncut. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about now. I know, but I don't know. So, whatever we share,
As if we're talking about unfolding.
Unfolding,
Today
unfolding.
Unfolding will just be me or us sharing everyday experiences from the time we discovered and how that has changed our relationship and how we just what my worst day looks like
Yeah.
and how it affects Lindani or Azzy.
Sure.
What the best day looks like.
Sure.
But I'm so interested in hearing that from you.
Okay, but then we still need to unfold firstly by you as to when you discovered how did that change your day-to-day living.
When I discovered, as I had said previously, like the discovery was not a one shot. It
Yeah.
was oh, is this happening? Okay, no man. Oh, really? No. So like it was I recognize there's a problem, but I'm not fully acknowledging that there is a problem, or I'm not fully accepting that there is a problem. So for quite some time, for 2 years, I was in denial. So I always thought it's circumstantial, will pass,
Sure.
you know, and yes, it was circumstantial, but I also identified a few things, actually only this year, identified a few things that suggest that this has been going on forever, like it's been going on forever. And I think because for me, that was a norm, like that was normal for me. I didn't see it as a problem before. But then once I started like conversing with people, or actually when I got to varsity, that's when I realized that actually this how I am is not really normal. And then I went to the world of work and then I saw that I'm really not normal.
Yeah.
I am really not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was difficult to accept though, because
Yeah.
you said that at work when I don't know, it's your manager who suggested that you might have some sort of mental health issues, that
Yeah.
you rejected that.
Definitely, I was like, what? I think for most of us, when we think mental health, we think I'm crazy, and you're thinking I'm not crazy. And then the second thing you think is I'm unstable, and you're thinking I am so stable. You're also thinking I don't trust God enough, and you're thinking I do trust God. So I think that's why I was more of the denial side, because it's like, no, I'm fine. Like, why would you think that? Why
Sure.
would you think that about me? Yeah.
So then how did that then, once you discovered, how did that unfold in your marriage or in your life as a individual, in your friendships, in your workspace? I mean, I think you only unfolded after leaving
Actually, when I got to Cape Town.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So after leaving your workspace.
Yeah.
So that must have been quite interesting that, you couldn't unfold at the workspace. It
Yeah.
could have maybe left you maybe more different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
left the experience more different. Maybe your manager would see you differently.
Yeah.
But now that, you're only unfolding now.
Yeah. Well, I actually do wish that I had seen a doctor when I was at work. We had doctor's office at work. She also like suggested it, but while she was asking me questions, I was making sure that I answer in such a way that she's not gonna say that I have a mental illness. So then she would say that I have an infection or stress or whatever it is, So I actually wish that I had been honest, or I wasn't so fearful of this thing while I was there, so that I would have been a better employee, I would have been a better friend, I would have been a better, I would have been better. I don't know if I'm better now, but I think with relations, I think I'm better. And I think if I was a youth leader now, with those kids, I would have been better. I think every time they came to me and they spoke about how they are depressed or they have anxiety, I was just like,
where do I start?
Yeah, where do I start? Okay, go see a therapist because that's what people say they do. Get medication because that's what people say they do. I wasn't so in tune with it. Like I got it that it's a mental illness, but I didn't like get it. I understood, but I didn't like get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also partially one of my guilts and regrets. That
Yeah.
I wish I would have been more informed
Yeah.
to be able to help the youth more with regards to that. Judging back, looking back, seeing the many times where we could have improved, but we didn't do that. Nonetheless, we've learned, so I think that's important. And how has that then, you've shared the youth perspective, and you shared that, in your workplace, you wish you could have. What about in your personal life with marriage, family, your mom? How has that really affected your relationship with regards to that?
Well, by family, I'm not gonna. Let me start with my family at home, not you. I don't think anything. That's because I haven't been part of the family. Well, I'm part of the family, but like I haven't been staying with them. I haven't been staying with them for years, So I guess every time I go home, it's a joy. It's a fun time because it's so limited. So I can't really say that there was. Yeah, because every time I went there, I was like intentional. But I remember that I used to go home to get that feeling. So it always. It was so therapeutic actually being at home. Like I had nothing to think about. And my mom is quite funny. Like she's quite a funny woman. So being around her, she's funny, she's loud, she is talkative, very talkative. So being in her space helps. And there's always a lot of people at home. Like she always has visitors. So I can't really say that aspect has changed. But in high school, I was very down and out. Yeah.
Sure, that's very interesting.
So, but then in marriage, I don't know. I am so interested for you to tell me, like, walk me through.
Do you want me to tell you how it affected me or how it affected you?
Okay, just tell me. The first time you realized that no man, it's as verkeerd.
Ek is baie trots op jou Afrikaans. The first time I saw that there something was wrong was 2018.
Yeah.
2017 was when we got married, and you were so much more outgoing, so much more loving. I'm not saying that you're not loving. Partially. I'm not saying that you're not loving. You were.
Would you say that in 2017 I never had like down moments?
I think you did, but it was not as severe.
Okay. Yeah.
You did, but then you recovered quickly.
Okay. Yeah.
you know me, that when I am down, I struggle with communication in the beginning. So I would hold on to that the whole day. Whereas Butimelo, most of her friends also knew. Lima Moruti back then also knew. But when Butimelo is not happy, she tells you the truth, she hurts you, and then the next minute, and then, let's have coffee! Yeah! I know, like, listen, I love that too. And you are like, Muskon, you hurt me. And so that was Butimelo then. If
No, I
something
think-
bothered her, she tells you straight immediately. If it hurts you, sharp, she has released it. Let's go on with life.
No, I don't think
Whereas-
that's true. I think I've always had the things that I feel, but I feel like at that
Boy,
moment.
Z. Okay, come here. See why we have to hold the boy. This is the reason why we hold him.
What was I saying? I think at that moment, in those days, I was just, what am I trying to say?
You said you're hub at the moment.
Yes,
You're hub at the
yes.
moment. Mhm.
So, in my space, nights are very difficult for me. So I think it's because, like, if something happens at night, then I would not talk to you. Like, I would just sleep. So my evenings are very difficult. That's when, like, my life gets very dark. So during the day, so much business. There was just so much going on. There wasn't a time for me to really sit and harbor things. So in high school, I had time to sit and harbor things. When I got to Cape Town, I had time. But 2017 to 2018, I didn't really have like that space. So, and also I think we had grown in our communication, in our openness. So it was easy for me to tell you, but with other people, no.
Okay. Oh, well, cool. So then I think it was 2018 then when things changed drastically. And as you say, the evenings became, you were saying now that the evenings, that's when it hits you hard. And she's right in saying that. But, what became one evening became 2 evenings, became 3 evenings, became 4 evenings, became a week, became a month, became months. And then I realized that, this could be something that is, I thought it was circumstantial. I thought it was circumstantial
Because
depression.
it was, yeah.
Yeah, because of course it was. But then it literally affected us to the point where B and I, our romance went down, our sex life went down. There were times when I think there were times when you had sex just for the sake of
Why
easing
are you
your
telling
guilt.
people
It was
that?
just easing your guilt.
Why are you telling
And it
people
was like
that?
once a month. But I'm just telling you what happens. I'm just being real.
Okay, let's go to the next card.
We're just being real.
Okay,
We're
let's
just
go.
being real.
Okay,
That's
let's go
how
to the
it
next part.
affected you and it affected us.
Okay.
Just being real. And so
It was my life.
I'm just saying that it was so dark that she didn't find pleasure in anything. When she didn't eat, she didn't want to go out. She only wanted to go back home to Spooking. And I think there was a time, I think probably later on, once we left where we left, that's when I think we had a really open discussion where she was like even saying that she had moments where she considered divorce, she had moments where she considered dying and stuff like that, and it was difficult. It was difficult to hold up the family, it was difficult to remain positive during those times. You don't know how to relate with her, and I think my only form of fighting was leaving, and I think that kind of did help. But it was hard because she was feeling guilty because she was feeling like she's taking me out of my calling. But obviously, I think my first calling is her.
Yeah.
And so I think you just wanted me to stand for you. And that was.
I think what made that year specifically difficult was because it was difficult at work. Everything was difficult, and I think
That's the year we also found out PCOS.
that's the year that I found out that I have PCOS, and we tried to conceive, and like everything that
Was not
could have worked, that could have went wrong, went wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so and also I think that is the year where I went through this self-discovery. Like it was a subconscious thing. Like I wasn't consciously going through self-discovery.
Yep.
But it was a year where I went through self-discovery, and I faced like 2018 to 2019. I faced a lot of traumas from when I was young. I faced a lot of things. So as much as that season was very dark, it has opened me to self-awareness.
Yeah.
I don't think I was, obviously, like I always come across as somebody who's self-aware, but I wasn't that deeply self-aware. Like I was very like surface self-aware, you know. Whereas now I know my core. Like I know, and remember I said last week that I worked on being happy from grade 6. So what Lindani is describing in 2017, or when he met me, that was my mission.
Yeah.
That was my mission.
You were always on mission, making people happy.
Mission was be happy, make people happy. So for a very long time, I suppressed things. I got over it. I snapped out of it, and it was like in 2018, everything caught up with me. Like I was so sick. I couldn't even go to work because every week I had to call in sick because I was physically sick. But like I would throw up, and then I would have stomach cramps, or I would have headaches. Like it felt like I'm dying. You know, sometimes things are getting better. Things were getting better, you know, like it's pretty much a good week, you know, youth was nice, but still I'm feeling the same. So I think that's the thing about suppressing trauma and not really facing it. Once it catches up with you,
It hits.
It hits. I was at the point of death. Like, I remember this one time, Lindan was at church. I think he went to a prayer meeting on a Wednesday, and I was in the bathtub, bath salts and everything, and I was like, okay, let me have some self-love thing and all of that. And I kept thinking, let me just drown. Let me just drown. Let me just drown. But I didn't have courage to do it. I wanted to do it so much, but I didn't have the courage. So I would try, and then I was like, I'm too scared, you know. And like I had a lot of those moments, and I remember I had this organization called Reflection of Love, and people loved it, but towards the end of the year, I just couldn't do it anymore. When we went for that excursion, we went for some excursion somewhere, I was so dead inside. I was so unpresent. The night before I was considering dying, and I had to wake up the next morning and show up and be an encouragement to these women and build them. I even have a picture. My eyes were so big because I had cried myself to sleep. So that's the thing. That's the thing about suppressing trauma, suppressing things that have hurt you from young or whatever. You know, we are taught to, I think as a black community, we are taught to get over stuff, and once it catches up with us. Another thing, when it was, I wanted to share this, I forgot. Once it was catching up with me, I got into the state of alcohol. Remember?
When? Wine or?
Yes, wine. I just wanted wine the whole time,
Okay.
and it made me numb, and you know, like it gave me that feeling, you know, and then we always had wine in the house, and I would take a sip every morning before I go to work because
I didn't know that. This is so interesting.
yeah, so
This is so interesting. Wine.
yes, we always had wine in the house, and
Like every morning.
let me tell you, I'm not.
Where was I?
I just don't have a taste for alcohol. Like
Yes.
I just don't have it. You know,
Yes.
like it's not about me being holier than thou. Or it just doesn't taste nice to
I
me.
thought it was Ausma Pule. We had a helper called Ausma Pule.
Why?
I thought, no man, this one is getting low and low. It must be Ausma
No,
Pule.
she did.
Okay, she did.
She did her part, and I did my part. Okay, we
I didn't
both,
know. Okay,
we
that's
both
cool.
did our part. But
Cool.
like, yeah, we always had wine every time, and wow, how it made me feel was just magical. And 2019, my friends and I went to Durban, and I have never had so much alcohol in my entire life.
I was shocked.
You know, um,
Not shocked because you don't drink, but I was shocked that you had that amount. I was like, BT never has that amount car weekend. Like, what happened?
I've like, and let me tell you, when I was in high school, I had, you see, like I was a child who made these commitments to myself that I'm not gonna do this. I'm not, you know. So one of the commitments that I've made to myself when I was in high school, I come from a family that has a problem with alcoholism. You know, like throughout generations, literally in my family, I'm the only one, and my mom who doesn't drink. So come family gathering, everyone is drunk. So we have this issue of alcoholism, like it's innate, it's within, you know. And I had given myself the commitment that I am not gonna be an alcoholic. And then I slowly, you know, started with 1 glass a week, and then I started taking a sip every morning, and then I could see that I'm getting to that stage where this is the only way I am able to cope. You know, for me to show up at work, that was the only way I was able to show up at work, or youth, or whatever. And yeah, that weekend, I had already left work, and then we were gonna go to Cape Town. We were gonna move to Cape Town. It was the last time I see my friends before we moved to Cape Town. Went clubbing. This is me putting my stuff, my dirty laundry outside. We went clubbing. I don't remember how much I drank at the club, but I felt out of place. This is embarrassing. I felt really out of place, mainly because I don't like social gathering. Like I don't like, yeah, where there's a lot of people, you know, and there's a lot of people, and I also don't like darkness. There's a lot of people. There was darkness. There was loud music. The three things that I hate. I hate darkness. I hate loud music. I hate a lot of people, and I was just there like, I want to die. So it was fun, but it wasn't, if you get what I mean. Because I don't like those things, you know, like maybe if it was outside, when it was bright and the music was subtle, I would have enjoyed. Yeah. And I drank. The following day, we were supposed to go to Ayadini, and I was like, guys, I'm not gonna go, you know, like, you guys can go. And they went, and I stayed. I finished a whole bottle of wine by myself. I gobbled it up. I was sitting and I was watching TV at the guest house or the hotel, and I drank, and I drank, and I drank, and I cried, and I drank, and I cried, and I drank, and drank, and drank, and I finished the whole bottle. I think it was 3 liters.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 liters. It was quite big. And then, a few days later, or a few weeks, 2 weeks later, I found out that I have been pregnant. I have been. And then that's when I decided that I'm not going to go the alcohol route. I'm going to face these giants. I'm going to walk this journey of discovery. I'm going to accept who I am. I'm going to accept my sensitivity. I'm going to accept my sensitivity, my weaknesses, my struggle with pain, my heart being so easily hurt. I'm just going to accept who I am. I decided that I'm no longer going to be a Mbokoto. I'm no longer going to be this woman who is strong and
Boy, mom is like having a moment. She's in the zone.
I was sounding like Oprah. No word. Yeah. And then that ever since I discovered that I had a lot of crying, a lot of facing of giants, but God has been working a lot. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, B. Like, that is so awesome, and for unfolding your story to us. And man, I just want to say shout out to you. You've grown so much, And I think the one thing that you really taught me during this time is that there's strength in weakness.
Yeah.
Being weak is actually being strong. And so I want to thank you for that. I appreciate that. You made me see the scripture very differently, you know. So, love you.
Love you too.
And thank you for sharing and unfolding. Next week, we're going to have another session.
Where we are. Okay, Azzy. Yeah, the people, tell them.
Okay, tell them what we're going to be sharing.
What are we going to be sharing about? Now you shy. Where's your sock? What we're going to share about is the spiritual side. That was a battle. That was just
real.
That was real.
Sure.
So yeah,
Next
share,
week.
comment,
subscribe, like. Thank you for all those who have been subscribing. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We love you. And if you need help, please contact somebody that can help you. Seek help. There's no shame. There is no shame in being a Christian, and having a mental illness.